You need to look at what's working, what's not working. Change those things that aren't working. Keep those things that are working.
Welcome to the Rich Auntie Podcast. Your host, Kia Valentine, will guide you on your journey to financial freedom, business success, and a luxurious lifestyle. Get ready for expert tips, inspiring stories, and practical advice to help you live your richest life. Let's dive in.
Welcome to another episode of the Rich Auntie Podcast. I'm your host and favorite Rich Auntie, Kia Valentine. And so today we're going to discuss a topic that is truly going to transform your life. I mean, I feel like all of our topics will transform your life, but I felt like this was a great place to start. So whether you're an entrepreneur, a busy professional, or just someone looking to bring more structure and productivity into your life, this episode is for you. Have you ever gotten to the end of your day and you realize you got absolutely nothing done? Like everything you planned to do did not get done. And I don't know if you've been there, but I know for me, I feel like I'm not living up to my potential. And so you may feel like you wasted your entire day. You may feel like you lack the ability or the confidence to get things done, the important things. And it's painful. It's not a good place to be. You want every day to count, right? And you want every day to be a day where you are productive. And so it's not a good place to be. It's not a good place to stay. And so what we're going to dive into today is how to create an effective daily routine strategy. We're going to explore practical tips and actionable steps that you need to craft a daily routine that is in alignment with what it is that you want to accomplish and that enhances your well-being. So let's get started. Step number 1 is to set clear goals and objectives. If you don't know where you're going, you can't plot a course to get there. It's just the way that it is. So the most powerful thing you can do is be intentional. And so what you need to understand about your goals is they need to be specific and measurable. They also need to be achievable, right? They need to be relevant to what your goal is. And they need to have a time slot available for it or to be time bound. Maybe by a certain time you want to get it accomplished. So you may be familiar with the acronym SMART, S-M-A-R-T, right? It's talking about these goals. And like I said earlier, they have to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant to what it is that you're doing, and time bound. So your goals need to be in alignment of the results that you want to get. Because if they're not, then it's not an intentional goal. You're going to just be doing things for the sake of doing things, and that's not where you want to be. And so one of my goals this year was to spend time with my boys, to spend more time with them. And yes, I work from home. Yes, I homeschool. And so you may think, well, you get to spend more time with them than most parents get to spend with their kids. Yes, this is true. But the way that I am, I could really be a person that I guess you could say can be a little bit of a workaholic. And so I would get busy doing things. And once everybody is fed, no one is dying, everyone is good, then I'm good. But what I wanted to do this year is just to be more intentional about doing things that they love to do as well, to spend that time and be present, like truly present, where I'm not on my phone, where I'm not doing other things, but I'm truly in that space where it's all about them. And I'm talking to them and giving them eye contact and all of these things. And that was important to me because I realized that I was really turning into someone that was so into the work that they do that I was neglecting a lot of those parts of, my family life. And so I didn't want to keep doing that. And so I really had to be intentional about this goal this year. And so on my schedule, I have video games. Yes, I play video games with my boys and they love it. And to be honest, I have so much fun and it's a great release for me as well from the everyday, hustle and bustle. And so it really allows me to decompress and just to get to know them better and to understand them better. And so that's one of my goals. Another goal, spend more time with my husband for the same reason. And so, going to bed a little bit earlier and all of these things that I need to do as a wife and to someone that, has needs as well. And the last thing is get to bed early. So those were some of my goals for this year. I want you to think about your goals, and I want you to really think about, okay, is this truly what I want to do? Is this in alignment? Is it specific? Is it achievable? Is it measurable? Is it relevant to my overall outcome? Is it time bound? And so even with playing video games with my boys, for example, I make sure that I'm not doing it for too long. When I first started with them, I was having a blast. And we stayed up and we played. But, after a while, you realize, okay, you still have to get work done. So sometimes you got to reel yourself in and give yourself a time slot. And so now I'll dedicate 30 minutes to an hour with them. And then I get to doing whatever it is that I have to do. And it works out. So the second step in creating an effective daily routine strategy is to start small. You don't want to get overwhelmed when you're forming habits. Habits take a while to form. And if you start with 5 habits that you're trying to form at the same time, you're going to experience routine burnout. That's what I call it. You're not going to be having fun and you're not going to want to keep doing it. And so you have to absolutely start small. So 1 or 2 habits. What I started with at first is getting up early. And so that was a habit that I wanted to create for myself. And so start wherever you need to, but just start with 1 or 2. And once you master those 1 or 2, then you can now start adding stuff. So master them first and then add, but this will increase the likelihood of you being successful in forming these habits and continuing on with your daily routine. Step number 3 is to plan your day. I like to say your tomorrow starts today. And that's because anything that you want your tomorrow to look like, you have to start putting into place the day before. It's always great to plan the night before because it reduces morning stress and it helps ensure that you have a wonderful start to your day. And who doesn't want a wonderful start to their day? The last thing you want to be is rushing. You can't find this, you can't find that. You're screaming at the kids, that just starts everybody's day off the wrong way. But if you have a moment where you could drink your coffee and relax, do your prayer and meditation and all of that stuff, it starts the morning off great for you. It also starts the morning off great for everyone in your household. And so if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You also need to plan throughout your day. So you need to have those things that you're going to do, like have them scheduled out, have a time slot for them, be intentional about that because it's going to help your day go a lot smoother. Have a time you're going to cook dinner, have a time you're going to relax and get to bed, that nighttime routine. So plan out your day, plan the whole thing out, and then do your best to go by your plan. So step number 4 is prioritize your most important task. So these are the high priority things, the things you must get done. Not that you have to get done or maybe you'll get done, but you must get done. And you have to do these high priority tasks as soon as possible. So as early in the day as possible, because it's when you have the most energy. We all experience burnout eventually. And the last thing you want to do is be focusing on something. And you probably could barely focus because you're so tired. But to be focusing on something that is super important and you just don't have the energy, you don't have the focus, you just don't have what it takes to get that accomplished. And so it goes on the back burner. And then tomorrow, here you come again. And so focus on the high priority task, get them done sooner rather than later. Put all the small stuff to the end of your day or the middle of your day, but start earlier on the day. If you get it done in the morning, then you're good. Number 5 is consistency is key. So stick to your daily routine, even on the weekends. So every day. And I know it may be tempting, especially on the weekends, to just stay up a little bit later or, just let loose and just be, and it's whatever is whatever. And, there's a time for that, because sometimes you truly need to have those moments where you could just do more, do more things outside of your normal. But for the most part, if you want to accomplish things, then you have to stick to your routine, even on the weekends. And if you fall off too much, you need to get back on that horse. So just get back to doing the things that you do. We all fall short or we all fall off sometimes, but the more you practice your routine, the better you get at it. And the more you practice it, even when you fall off, it's easier to get back to equilibrium. It's easy to get back to that place where now you're back in a state of productivity because you're doing what you need to do. Number 6 is to include breaks. Take some time to rest and recharge. That may be a power nap for you. I've learned that if I'm going to take a power nap, I need to do it somewhere between 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. After that, I do not need to be napping because I'm going to stay up the entire night. And so everybody's body is different. And so you have to understand your body and what it does. So you have to pay attention to when you do take naps, what times you take naps, and how it affects you. And so I barely take naps throughout the day, but when I do, I know that it has to be within that time frame, because if not, it's not going to be good for me the next day, because I'm going to stay up all night and I'm going to be groggy the next day. And so, take time, take breaks. It allows you to recharge, and it will increase your productivity, because once you take that nap, and it doesn't even have to be a nap. It may just be going for a walk outside just to recharge. It may be taking a shower, whatever it is, take it so you can recharge and get back to what it is that you need to do. Number 7 is limit distractions. So identify those possible distractions in your life. Like, figure out what they are and do your best to minimize them or eliminate them altogether. And so for me, shooting this podcast episode today, I got up at 6 a.m. I am now shooting at 8 a.m. And so, it took me some time because I had my morning routine and then, just setting everything up, running tests, making sure everything is good so that I could shoot. Now, if I tried to do this later on in the day, it probably would not get done. Why? Because there's so much going on in my household. My boys are mommying me to death. I have work to do. Like, there's so much going on. And so if I don't shoot at this time, it's not going to get done. And what I even realized today is, I need to get up a little bit earlier if I want to shoot. That it's working for the summertime. But I know once homeschool starts, that starts at 8:30 a.m. And so I want to make sure that I get everything done before that begins. It's important to eliminate those distractions if you want to be effective in your routine, if you want to actually get things done and get them done effectively. So the less distractions you have, if it's social media, I know that's a big distraction for a lot of us. And so if it's social media, we all have those screen times. You may need to delete the app altogether through the week. Whatever it is that you need to do to eliminate those distractions, the first thing is you have to identify what those are. What are you spending so much time on in your day that is causing you not to actually focus on the things you need to get done? Because if you're focusing on other things that aren't even serving your purpose, then, and it's okay once in a while if you're having fun, but you really need to check those things and you really need to minimize those distractions or get rid of them completely. Number 8 is track your progress and adapt. So consistency is important, yes. However, you need to be flexible in your routine. And what I mean by that is you need to analyze what's working and what's not. Too often, we set a routine for ourselves and we just stick to that routine. And things change, but our routine doesn't. And so if you do things that way, if you don't have the ability to adapt your routine, you're going to just keep doing the same things over and over and not getting the results. They say that's the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, but you're going to get the same results. With your routine, you need to look at what's working, what's not working. Change those things that aren't working. Keep those things that are working. For example, I realized that during shoot day, I need to work out after instead of before. So my morning routines usually would be that I would get up and I would work out, right? Before I do anything else. Well, prayer, meditation, all of those things first. But when I shoot, because, this is the time where I can, if I worked out, then I would be spending a lot of time doing that. And I wouldn't have enough time to shoot this episode or to shoot future episodes. So on those shoot days, I specifically will work out after instead of before. And when I say after, it may be even after homeschool. I'll see what that looks like once the boys start school. But it may be in the evening time on shoot days, I may have to work out or use that specific day as my rest day. And so you have to adjust. You have to be flexible. You have to track your progress. You have to know what's working and what's not. Number 9 is reward yourself. So celebrate your small wins. If you're sticking to your routine, celebrate in some way, in a positive way. Positive reinforcement is going to allow you to maintain your schedule. Pick something out. Maybe if you had set a goal and by the time you finished it or by the time you were able to implement it, you have a prize at the end of that as well. So, celebrate your wins. Number 10 is prioritize sleep. Now, this is a big one for me. My mom would call me a night owl because I just love to stay up at night. And I've always been like that from a kid. So it's really been me doing my best. It's really been a challenge for me. One of the most challenging things in my life because I'm so accustomed to being up at night and, sleeping during the day. And I said, shoot, I could have been a trader or something, because I would definitely have the sleep schedule for it. I've gotten a lot better because I've started prioritizing my sleep. And I have to do that in order to get up early and get things done. And so prioritizing your sleep is going to help you be more effective. It's going to help you be more consistent. It's going to help you get more things done. And that is what we want to do. So conquering the day well rested is so satisfying. I feel so much better when I've had enough rest and I'm getting things done than when I'm slugging along through my day and maybe still getting things done, but it's not as satisfying. It kind of sucks because I'm so low on energy and it's just I am dying to just get to the end of the day where I can get some sleep. And so what I've learned is prioritizing that sleep is going to help with so many other areas. I know for me, it helps with just about everything because I have the energy to get stuff done. And the last step, batch and stack. So if you can meal prep, get all your meals together by meal prepping, maybe doing your meals on one day where you have it planned out for the week. You can save a lot of time like that throughout your day. And so that's one less thing you have to do. The more things you could eliminate in your day-to-day routine, the better it will be for you. And also something called pleasure stacking. So yes, the word pleasure is in there because usually it's putting something that's less pleasurable with something that is pleasurable. So what that looks like is cooking, washing clothes, and listening to a great audiobook. And so you're cooking, that's the active part, right? But the clothes are washing because you're leveraging the ability of the washing machine. And then you're listening to an audiobook, which is something you can do while you cook. So all of these things together, you're getting 3 things done at the same time. And so that's what we call pleasure stacking. And so I always laugh at the reel that it says, okay, now the washing machine is done doing its job. Now is my time. and you see the person crying. And I've been there, right? Where you have all these piles of clothes, family of 5 over here, and you have to fold all of these clothes. But what I realized is, okay, I can make this a lot more pleasurable, and so can you, right? So this is what to do next time. The next time you are folding those clothes up and it's an experience that you are daunting and you don't want to do, listen to the Rich Auntie podcast. Listen to an episode at the same time. That's the pleasure part, right? So you're getting information, you're listening to something that you enjoy and that you learn from, and at the same time, you're getting work done. So find different ways to stack things so that's the art of multitasking, right? Because you can't really do 2 active things at the same time, but you can pair an active thing with something you're leveraging at the same time to make it a better experience. And it's going to help with your daily routine as well because you're getting more things done at the same time. That's a wrap for today's episode. I hope that the tips on creating your daily routine strategy has been helpful and that inspires you to get working on yours or improving yours. Remember, consistency is key. And with a great daily routine strategy, you can accomplish incredible things. Before we sign off today, I have something exciting to share with you. Learn to leverage infinite banking to build wealth and live life on your terms. If you want to transform your financial future, head over to the show notes and get access to the Lifestyle Banking Beginner's Course. It's packed with insights and strategies to help you build wealth and control your finances. Plus, don't forget to sign up for the email list. That is going to keep you up to date with what's going on in the Rich Auntie community. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Until next time, this is your Rich Auntie signing out.
Thanks for listening to the Rich Auntie Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Follow us on social media for more tips and exclusive content. Until next time, keep shining, keep thriving, and remember, you deserve to live your richest life.
Yo.